my week in weight loss, nutrition, fitness, and more, plus some of the latest news that I found interesting on GLP-1s and in the fitness industry, and I'm going to answer your questions. Hello and welcome to Amanda Widener Wellness. My name's Amanda. I'm so excited to have you here. On this channel, we talk about all things weight loss, weight management, tools like GLP-1s, fitness, nutrition, and everything in between. Today is Casual Friday, even though it's Saturday. And my Casual Friday segment is just where I have a casual conversation with you about how my weight loss and weight management journey is going, things like fitness and exercise, nutrition, and then, news that has kind of caught my attention because I'm kind of a news nerd. I like to read articles about what's going on in things that interest me. So like GLP-1s and the fitness industry. And then any questions that have popped up over the last week. If I thought that it would be really interesting to talk about during the video, I set those aside and I answer them at the end. So we'll go over all of that. But before I dive into today's topics, I do have a disclaimer. I'm not a doctor or a healthcare provider. And while I am a personal trainer and group fitness instructor, I'm not your personal trainer or group fitness instructor. So please speak with your doctor and wellness team before making any changes to your diet, exercise, or medication regimen. Everything on this channel is based on my opinions and experiences. And now's a great time for me to ask, if you haven't already, I would love for you to like and subscribe. Your support really helps to grow the channel. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. The sooner that I can get to that level, the more things that I can offer to you. So every time I reach one of these new goals, it's for a purpose so that I can offer more to you as my viewer. So if you haven't already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like this video. It helps to push it out to more people in the algorithm or the YouTube universe. And if you know anyone who might enjoy this content, please share it with them so that we can continue to grow the channel and build our community together. All right, so with all that said, I do want to apologize for this being posted on Saturday. I know it's Casual Friday. I had fully intended to post my video yesterday, and let me talk about what happened. So yesterday, my kids don't have school, so I still planned to get up at my normal time, do my normal Friday routine, even though the kids weren't going to school. So I did that. I got up, I started getting ready for my classes, I had my coffee, my breakfast, and then I was going to sit down and record my video, and some personal things popped up, and I am first and foremost a mom, and so when mom life steps in, I take the reins, and that was kind of that moment. Everything's fine, but I'm always a mom first, over my job, over everything else. And so I had to push off recording, and then I had to go teach my classes and do my Friday routine, and I didn't get home until mid-afternoon. And by the time I was showered and stuff, something else came up. So that pushed things off again. And then before I knew it, it was almost 9 p.m. and I was just not ready to record anymore. It was bedtime at that point. So today I was not able to record earlier either. I'll talk about why in just a minute, but I've been very busy. Even right now, I'm literally sitting at the baseball fields while my son has practice. And this was the first moment I've had to sit down and record for you. So it's not that I don't want to record these. I do. The Casual Fridays is one of my favorite segments. I've gotten so much great feedback on them. And I love sharing my journey with you. So I was determined to get this video recorded before the sun sets and you can't see me anymore. So I apologize that it's late. It's just unusual circumstances happened. So January, February has been 11 million days long. So it is Valentine's Day. I can't believe it's already Valentine's Day, but at the same time, I already can't believe it's not summer yet because this has just been the longest few weeks ever. I swear it's just one thing after another, but I digress. So moving forward, my kids they have a Monday off as well. And so hopefully that can help me get set up going forward where I don't have these types of interruptions, and it doesn't, at the very least, I can have something I can put up for you. I like to have a video in the tank in case something like that comes up that I can post, and then I can always do a delayed. I don't like skipping like my Monday through Friday video posts. So I apologize. I hope that you'll forgive me and understand that mom life was calling. All right, with all that said, let's talk about my week. So this was a really good week for me. So when I started on my current journey, I was 284 pounds. It was November of 2024, and I started without GLP-1 medication. I went until May without GLP-1 medication, and then in May of 2025, I added that into my regimen. So I was about 40 pounds down when I added it in, and since then I've continued to lose. Now, the medication made a huge difference in my weight loss progress because it helped with reducing inflammation. So I was able to move my body more with greater ease. I added in walking. It helped to curb a lot of the food noise that I was like trying to white knuckle while losing weight without the assistance of the medication, which is something I've done before. I have gained and lost 100 pounds like 4 times in my life. And so this time is very different. The medication is helping me to not feel like I'm like struggling to like, it's likened to jumping into deep water, right? You can hold your breath for so long trying to lose the weight without help, but after a while you have to come up and catch your breath. And when I had to catch my breath, that was always when the weight would come back. It might be a few months later, it might be a year later, but it always happened. But this time I don't feel like I'm struggling to breathe. Instead, it feels like I'm treading water with a life float. And so I really feel like I'm able to continue on like this for the infinite future. And so it's been a really great experience. The medication has really helped me to achieve all of these goals. I've still had to put in the work. I still have to make sure that I'm in a calorie deficit, that I am doing the exercise and strength training that I need to achieve the body that I want with the body recomposition I'm focusing on right now. I have more cravings for food than I think many of my counterparts who are on this medication have. I know many people talk about how they don't have an appetite. That is not my experience on GLP-1s. I have always had an appetite, even on the even since I started the medication. I've always been able to eat, but the constant thought of go to the kitchen and get something to eat when I'm not hungry is gone. Instead, I am hungry at meal times and I eat normal portions and I eat within my calorie range and I'm satisfied. So it's been a game changer. So since I started in November of 2024, as of last week, I was down 108 pounds. And last week I mentioned I think 108, math is hard. So last week I said I was 107 or 175.5, but I always round up. So I was kind of like going around 176, and I was going up and down the same like 3 pounds depending on the day of the week it was, for like 4 or 5 weeks. And it was really just like, I would be 176, then a couple days later was 178, then I was back down to 177, then I was back up to 180, then I was back down to 176. And it was just, every day was a guess of where I was going to be. But it was within that range. So a lot of my videos are like 108 pounds down, 108 pounds down, because I didn't want to give myself credit for an extra pound when the scale was fluctuating so much. Now that is a plateau. And it was not my first plateau, it was my second plateau on this experience, but it was the longest plateau. Now, part of that is my own doing. I survived the holidays. I lost weight up until the week of Christmas, and then the plateau kind of started. I went on vacation. I still managed to lose a pound on vacation, but that's kind of when like the up and down started. So I went on vacation. We were eating vacation foods. I was not exercising like normal. And then when we came back, I wasn't walking like I normally do. It was cold, so I just wasn't moving as much. My NEAT, my non-exercise activity expenditure was less than normal. I just wasn't moving around the house as much. I was snuggled up in blankets on the couch. And so I wasn't burning as much as normal. And so that's definitely a big part of it. Also, when it's colder, even though I'm a big water drinker, I was struggling to drink enough water. And when I don't drink enough water, my weight will go up and down. And so there's just a lot going on, but I wasn't upset with it. This is the first time I've experienced a plateau where I didn't feel defeated by it. I just knew if I kept going that I would eventually break past it. And this week I did. So if you notice in my videos, I started saying I was 109 pounds down, and that was because the scale consistently stayed below 176. And I went on the scale 2 days ago and it said I was 174. And I have consistently been at 174 for the last 3 days. So I have officially broken past that plateau, and I'm officially 110 pounds down on my journey since November of 2024. Yay! So I'm really excited about that. I'm really feeling good in my body recomposition. I'm building a lot of muscle. I'm seeing growth and progress in the weight room. This week was a little bit more of a struggle in the weight room. I was very tired. And I think it was just because I wasn't fueling my body the way I should have. My appetite wasn't as much as it normally is. And so I wasn't eating as many calories as I normally do. And so it wasn't much. It was maybe like 200 fewer calories a day. But when you're in the weight room after teaching a cardio class, you can feel that. And so I kind of clocked it midweek, and I've really been putting an effort in to make sure that I'm adding foods to, even though I'm not hungry, I can still add calories to my food, healthy calories to my meals, to increase my calorie intake for the day without overeating, without eating so much food that I feel not well. And so I've been putting things like avocado or a little bit of oil, or adding a little bit of oil with my dressing. Instead of it just being like a vinegar base, it's been like an oil and vinegar base. And so that's added the extra couple hundred calories to my day. And it made a big difference in how I'm feeling. And it made a big difference in my performance in something that I did this morning. So if you are having moments where you're feeling like lightheaded or really weak in the weight room or whatever, and everything else in your health marker seems okay, talk to your doctor, make sure it's not dehydration or your blood pressure or something like that. And if all of those are ruled out, it might be that you need to increase your calories because you're working too hard. So that was definitely the case for me, and increasing my hydration and increasing my calories made a big, big difference. I'm still in a deficit, but I'm eating enough. I wasn't eating enough this past week because I just wasn't as hungry for some reason. Sometimes my appetite will decrease with my cycle. So yay, being a woman. But sometimes my appetite increases with my cycle. And then at other points in my month, my appetite will really decrease for a few days. And I think that might've been what was going on. And I clocked it because of how I was performing in the weight room. I don't think I would have clocked that at a different point in my journey, but because I'm using so much energy to work out, to achieve body recomposition, to build my muscles, I'm trying to regrow my glutes, y'all. I need my booty back. But because I've been doing that, I noticed it pretty quickly. My performance just wasn't where it had been. I had just increased the weights and the repetitions, and I wasn't feeling like I was achieving the repetitions and those weights as easily as I did last week. And I was like, what's going on? And so I figured it out pretty quickly. I was a little dehydrated and I just wasn't eating enough. So that was my week in weight loss. Let's talk about my week in nutrition. So I did a what I eat in a day this week. I will probably do one again next week too, and then I might take a break for a week. I love my what I eat in a day videos. Y'all seem to really enjoy them, so I like to make them. They take all day. So because I like to cook for you on them to show you like what I'm actually making, because I am a busy mom. This is my real life. And I know that coming up with things to eat when you are also a busy parent, spouse, employee, child, like our lives are busy. And so I want to show like this is doable. It's absolutely doable. We can make real meals that don't take that long, that leave you enough that you can portion it out for like meal prep or whatever if you want to. And it doesn't have to break the bank either. I'm a big believer, and we can be on this journey and eat well on a budget. And so that's why I really like to cook in my what I eat in a day video, so that you can see what I'm doing and that I'm using stuff I already have around the house. So I do try to post them all the time, but they're time consuming. So I don't want to do one every single week. I might do like 2 or 3 a month and then take a week off. But this week I showed you one of my breakfasts. So on the video, I made this fun recipe I found on Instagram. It was a egg white, like mini pancake sub. It was literally liquid egg whites and vanilla, and then we just whipped them into stiff peaks and put them in the oven, and then we seasoned them. I didn't love the way the recipe called for them to be prepared, but I think with like some PB2 on top, they'd be delicious. They don't taste eggy. With the vanilla in there, they kind of taste like baked goodie. So a little bit of PB2 drizzle on top, or like more fruit and some Cool Whip or whipped cream would be delicious. So then I would get the protein from the egg and the fiber from the fruit, and then like the fun from the Cool Whip. I just didn't love the syrup and the cinnamon on it. It wasn't for me. It wasn't the right combination, but I think I can get there. Even like those eggs with like a glob of Greek yogurt and fruit, I think even that would be delicious. Like I think that'd be really satisfying. I'm gonna try experimenting with it and see what variations I really like, because I'd love to give you that feedback. If you try to make them and you like mix them up with some other option on top of them, like let me know what you enjoy or don't enjoy. Like be like, Amanda, avoid this. Don't do this combo. Or Amanda, try this combo. It's good. Let me know. My other breakfasts this week were scrambled eggs. I did like a scrambled single egg with an egg white, and then I did side salad with it and turkey sausage. And so that was my breakfast for the past 7 days. It was nice and easy. And then I had proffee with everything this week. So it's been chilly again. We're about to head into a few more warm days, so my proffee situation might change, but proffee is just protein coffee. I take a protein shake. I pour half of it into 1 cup of coffee and the other half into my second cup of coffee because I love coffee, and caffeine doesn't really have a big impact on me, so I can drink 2 or 3 cups and be totally fine. I know that's not the case for everyone, but I can't go about my day without at least 1 cup of coffee in me. Lunches I did on my What I Eat in a Day video. It was this recipe I found on Instagram also, and it was delicious. And I followed this dietitian, or I guess she has a master's in nutrition. I don't know if she's a registered dietitian, but that's the education a registered dietitian has. And she has like a ton of these scoopable salads. And so it was a rotisserie chicken that was chopped up with a bunch of chopped vegetables, and then like a Greek yogurt, like dressing of sorts. It was like Greek yogurt and like taco seasoning. And it was so good. And then she said to serve it with like rice cake. And I was like, rice cake? That's weird, but all right, I'll give it a try. And it was so good. I only ever would have thought to eat it with chips. So later in the week, I did a day of it with tortilla chips, also really good, but like not as satisfying. And I'll say why in just a minute. And then another day I did it with the Quest nacho cheese chips. I actually really enjoyed that. It gave it some extra flavor. So like when I was getting towards the end of it and I was like, man, I've been eating this for 4 days. It was a nice change to give it a little different flavor because that nacho cheese flavor. But I liked the rice cakes because they're really dense compared to a chip. And so they weren't breaking, and 2, the crunch and the texture of it was just really satisfying. So I'm going to make another one of her recipes, probably maybe not this coming week, maybe the week after. I haven't decided yet. I'll keep you posted in my next What I Eat in a Day, but I'm going to make another one of her recipes soon, and I'm going to do it with the rice cakes because it was really, really good. Snacks this week were Greek yogurt. Of course, I have one every day. In my What I Eat in a Day, I did it with like chocolate pudding mix, Cool Whip, and then shredded coconut. I've been on a shredded coconut kick this week. I don't know if it's because I desperately need a tropical vacation or what, but the shredded coconut was delicious with the chocolate like pudding mixed in. And I did the same thing with my desserts. We made Fairlife Ninja Creamy ice cream and I put coconut on it. And it was really good. And then tonight, it's Valentine's Day. So I asked my husband what kind of dessert he wanted, and he asked for coconut ice cream. So I got regular Fairlife milk, and I put coconut extract in there and vanilla pudding. And if it turns out to taste good, then I'm going to take some shredded coconut and melt chocolate over it and freeze that and put it in to make like a toasted coconut ice cream. And hopefully it's good. We'll see. If it's good, I'll put it in my What I Eat in a Day. I'll make it again next week. If it's not good, you'll know because I'll make something different. All right, so that's what my husband requested. We'll see how it turns out. Other snacks I did a lot of turkey, like deli turkey with string cheese and apple slices and baby carrots. It was a nice, easy, like throw it in a container and take it to go. I've done that in What I Eat in a Days in the past because it's literally something I eat all the time. Oh, referring back to desserts, someone asked me, and I should have put this in my question area, but someone did ask me about Ninja Creamy and if I thought that it was sweet enough when I used the Fairlife milk. And my answer to that is yes. I don't know if you're mixing it the way that I do, but I always put a tablespoon or 2 of Jell-O no sugar added pudding into the Fairlife, and the sweetness from that mixed with the sweetness from the milk makes it sweet enough. And then I usually add something to the ice cream after it's been blended too. So like a little shredded, like a tablespoon of shredded coconut, a tablespoon of Lily's chocolate chips. Maybe I'll do like a little drizzle of no sugar added chocolate syrup or some sprinkles or some PB2 over the top. Or sometimes I'll even put regular, like a tablespoon of regular melted peanut butter on there. it's okay. Treat yourself from time to time. Just do it in moderation. And so those little extras make it extra sweet. So I'm okay with that. But if you're struggling with the sweetness, I highly recommend this group on Facebook. There's a Ninja Creamy group on Facebook, and there's like thousands of people in there, and there's a ton of recipes. And you can even ask in there, like, I'm struggling to make this sweet enough. What recommendations do you have? Some people have added like drops of monk fruit sweetener in there. Some people have been adding like actual powdered monk fruit or stevia. So if you're into that sort of thing, you can do that, or you can ask for alternatives and they can help you make it sweeter. But with the pudding, I find it sweet enough and I'm good with it, but everyone has their own taste and their own like palate, you know? So yeah, I did that. It was just a lot of Ninja Creamy ice cream this week. One night was the coconut. Another night we did it with Lily's chocolate chips. Another night I did it with Cool Whip. Another night I did it with chocolate chips and shredded coconut. I just did less of each. Delicious. I've been on an ice cream kick. That was my life before. I used to have ice cream from a tub of ice cream from the grocery store every single night, but I overate it and it was always full fat and full of like candies and stuff. But this Ninja Creamy gives me that satisfaction of like eating ice cream in the evening, but it's high protein. I don't eat nearly as much and it's much lower in calories. So I love my Ninja Creamy. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll put my Amazon store link in the description box so you can like click on there and go see what a Ninja Creamy is. Please don't buy it if it's not something that your household needs, because they are very expensive. But it was a worthwhile purchase for my family. We use it all the time, but that is not going to be the case for every household. All right, let's talk about my week in fitness. This was a fun week. So I had all my classes. Classes went great. It was the Valentine's Day week, so I had fun themes. So we did like a more booty poppin' dance class, and I did like my strength classes. We did a butts and guts. So like we focused on glutes and core. And then Friday we had like a really fun dance class. A lot of people turned out. We all got dressed up. It was a great time. I love the community in my dance fitness classes. And then today I did something different. So let me preface this by saying I'm not a runner, and my biggest catchphrase is usually, if you see me running, you should also run, because it means something scary is coming. Okay? I don't like to run. Back in 2019, I set a goal to run a 5 or a 10K every month. Just to say I did it. And when the year was over and I had achieved it, I was like, I'm never running again. But I did today. So my gym did a 5K event for Valentine's Day and to raise money for a really good cause. And I had volunteered, although group fitness classes were canceled because of it. So I was like, well, I've got a full morning. So I volunteered my time. I went in early to help with setup, and we did the registration table. I brought my daughter with me. She's 13 and she asked to volunteer. And then she asked to run. There was like a fun run and a 5K, and she asked to do the 5K. And I was like, all right, if you want to do it. And so we ran it. She's an athlete, and so I fully expected her to outpace me. And she started out way ahead of me, but she burned out early. She doesn't know how to pace herself when running long distances yet. And so I ended up finishing 2 minutes before her. I'm very proud of that. But more importantly, I'm proud of the fact that I thought I was going to walk the whole thing. Walking a 5K is no big deal. I walk a little bit more than that almost every single morning, but it takes me an hour. But today I walked and jogged, but I definitely slow jogged more than I walked today, which is the first time I've ever been able to say that about a 5 or a 10K. I just don't enjoy running. It's not for me. I love to walk. I love to dance. I love to be in the weight room. I'll do those things all day. But running is just like mental torture to me. But I found some peace in today. Maybe it was because my daughter was there. I don't know. But I actually kind of enjoyed it. And I finished my 5K in 35 minutes and 22 seconds, which is not bad considering I don't train and I don't run. And I walked quite a bit of it. And then my daughter finished about 2 minutes after me, and we just had a great morning enjoying it with like friends and all of that. I also did help two of my friends, and I did the warm up for it. We did like a dance fitness warm up before the 5K. So it was a really fun day of being active in a way I'm not normally active. And I got to spend it with my daughter, which was super fun. So I guess I'm a mom who runs 5Ks with their kids now. That's interesting. Now, if you had asked me even 3 months ago if I would have been doing a 5K, I would have literally laughed in your face. But I did it, and I'm really proud of myself. So my daughter's already asking to do another one. So we will probably do one at some point in the future. I might not be as happy about it, but we'll see. So that was a fun week. And then I talked already about the weight room and how I was struggling in there. And I think it was because I wasn't eating enough. And so hopefully now that I've got my nutrition locked in again and I'm making sure to have enough calories while still being in the deficit, I'll be good to go next week. I'm working towards that 500/1,000 pound club competition that we have in 2 weeks at the gym. So I gotta make sure I'm eating enough so I can be strong enough for the competition. All right, so let's talk about news I'm sorry about my camera here. I need to turn a light on. So let's talk about news in the GLP-1 world. So this past week, the biggest news in the GLP-1 community is definitely about the FDA increasing their scrutiny of compound GLP-1s. So if you don't know about what's been going on, Hims and Hers, so let me back up even further. In January, there was an oral, meaning a pill version of Wegovy that was released, and it starts at $149 per month. So that in January of this year, 2026, that oral medication became available. This past week or last week, Hims and Hers, which is a telehealth provider that has access to a compound pharmacy, they provide medication to their patients, their telehealth patients, through a compounding pharmacy, announced that they had a, quote, generic version of a pill that has the same, quote, active ingredient as Wegovy. And two parts of that are not allowed by the FDA. You can't call it a generic because that's not correct. And you can't say that it has the same active ingredient because the ingredients are different. Well, they have similar, there's similar science behind it. The reason why they're able to use them in a compound is because they are not exactly the same as the name brand medication. And so the FDA came out and said, you can't do this. And because you're doing this, we're going to look and see if maybe we need to consider preventing access to the active ingredient that compounding pharmacies are using to make their compound medication. And so literally the next day, that was 1 week ago today, Hims and Hers came out and removed that pill and made it no longer available for purchase. They were also trying to sell it for $49 a month, which is way cheaper. And so it was just a lot of drama behind all of it. It's still unfolding. We don't know if Hims and Hers pulling that oral medication is going to stop the FDA from pursuing what they said they were going to, or if we're looking at, more regulations or issues with compounding pharmacies going forward. But as of right now, I'm trying not to panic because I do use a compounding pharmacy to get access to my medication. I'm hoping that the FDA will listen to what previous judges have said in the cases of compounding medications and realize that there are patients out there who need access to compounding medication for more than one reason. It's not just cost. Many of us need custom prescriptions because of other, health issues that we have going on, that sort of thing, but also cost is a factor. These medications are hard to access for many patients, and they are just so out of reach for many families but the patients need them. And so we just have to wait and see what the FDA says there. As of right now, there hasn't been too much more on it, but time will tell. Another news article that came out that was kind of took the world by storm this past week was the once monthly GLP-1 medication is just finished its phase 2 trial. So Pfizer's PF 3944 was showing up to 12.3% weight loss at 28 weeks, according to their phase 2B trial. This was greater weight loss than their placebo group, and the weight loss had yet to reach a plateau, which is really exciting. And this is a medication that you would take once monthly. It is still an injection, but it would help with people who travel a lot and they struggle to bring their medications with them, or, just refrigeration issues, that sort of thing. So people who tend to forget that they need something, maybe doing it once a month, or they're afraid of needles, but they don't want the pill. They don't want to take a pill every day, but this needle is only once a month. It's just a great alternative for people who need it. And so it's interesting to see that this is on the horizon and it's entering the phase 3 trials, and we'll get to see more about it. I think the article said that we can hear more about the results of that at a conference in June. Let's talk about the fitness industry. So one of the things that I found was an article from Gold's Gym, that was from earlier this year, talking about what the industry focus is going forward in 2026. And one of their statements was that the fitness industry is leaning more into towards strength training, especially functional strength training and mobility for participants of all ages. And I have to say, I fully agree with that. So in the last couple of years, there's just been this resurgence of interest in mobility training and how adding in movements that will help us improve our daily activities and daily lives can benefit us if we do them in the gym. So in the past, a lot of people would have wanted to just go burn a bunch of calories in a HIIT class and then leave. Now people are looking to add on to their workout routines with mobility and flexibility training. And it's so important. And I love that this is kind of picking up in interest because it's vital towards our ability to live a long and healthy, independent life. So I've taught mobility and senior fitness in the past. So I'm very, very passionate about this, but we start mobility training when we're young. Your mobility and your body's bone density begins to decrease as early as age 30. And so starting to train as early as age 30 is going to help give you better longevity. Mobility is the kind of things like, can you reach up and open up a kitchen cabinet and get a bowl down? Can you bend down and pick up your keys without falling over? Can you get out of bed in the morning without stumbling around or having to grab onto something? Like, these are the things that get you through life as we get older. And it's so vital. It's great to work out and build muscle and get stronger. What does it matter if 20 years from now, you can't get out of bed in the morning, right? So I love that this is a new focus for more people. It's so vital that we have a well-rounded fitness regimen that's cardio. So you're working your heart, getting that heart rate going, providing heart health and circulation. And you also want strength training so that you can keep up your muscle mass. Your muscles are going to protect your bones. It's going to help you be, more mobile longer. And then mobility training to give us that longevity as we age and we can live longer, active, healthier lives. So I love to see that is a trend that's picking up. Another trend that has been really picking up in the last couple of years are cold plunges. I'm sure many of you have seen people talking about them if you don't do them yourselves. And I find them fascinating because if you would ask me to take a cold plunge a year ago, maybe a little over a year ago, 2 years ago, I've been like, absolutely, because I was always hot. When I was 284 pounds, it didn't matter if I was in the air conditioning with 3 fans on me in a tank top and shorts, I was sweating. I was always hot. And I just thought that was the way I was living my life. But now I am always cold, always. I picked up my kids the other day. It was 80 degrees outside and I still had a hoodie and the heat on in the car. I'm just always cold. And so that's why I like these Comfrt sweaters, because they're nice and thick and they keep me warm. So anyway, my kids tease me for it. But a year or two ago, I'd been like, yeah, give me a cold plunge. Absolutely, sounds great. Now the idea of a cold plunge, I'm like, I'm good. I'm going to stick with going in the dry sauna where it's hot. But I like the benefits of them. And so I find them really interesting. So if you do cold plunges or if you've done them in the past, let me know in the comments what your experience was. Like, did you notice a health benefit or like a mental clarity benefit? Like, did you love it? Did you hate it? Why? Like, I love to hear feedback from actual people who do these. So some of the benefits of cold plunges are muscle recovery. It also helps with reducing muscle soreness. It improves circulation. It's been shown to help with metabolic boosts. It gives you immune support. It also helps with pain management because the cold can help to kind of dull those pain sensors in your body. It can help enhance your mood. It kind of wakes you up, right? So it's a mood enhancer. It can provide relief for stress and stress management, and that can lead to better sleep. So there's a lot of benefits to cold plunges. However, there are some drawbacks that you need to be aware of. So if this is something you're considering, please speak with your healthcare provider first, because going into cold water can kind of startle your body, which is how you get some of these benefits, but it can also lead to some opposite consequences. So it could cause like a spike in your blood pressure or your heart rate. It can cause an arrhythmia, like an irregular heartbeat pattern. So if you have a history of arrhythmia, there might be an alternative your doctor would rather you do. It can lead to frostbite if you stay in too long. And it can also lead to like breathing irregularities because it kind of shocks you, right? So you want to make sure that you are cleared health-wise before you start trying cold plunges. And some of the secrets people will tell you, is to start with like 1 to 3 minutes max. You're probably not only going to be in a few seconds your first few times anyway, because your body's not used to it, but no more than 1 to 3 minutes when you first start, and always keep your head out of the cold water. So I still prefer the dry sauna. I know some people love a steam sauna. I can't breathe in a steam sauna. I feel like I'm like being smothered, but the dry sauna, I go in the dry sauna for 20 to 30 minutes after every weight room session. And it has helped me with my muscle recovery so much. It also really helps relax me. I sleep better on the days when I'm in there because I've kind of zenned out for 25 to 30 minutes. In our dry sauna, I can't use like headphones or anything because it's too hot and they don't work in there anyway. So I'm literally just like alone with my thoughts if there's no one else in there. So I set an alarm on my watch and I kind of just like daydream, and it's been great. I really enjoyed the benefits of the dry sauna, but the biggest one is the muscle recovery. And also my skin looks better since using the dry sauna. But that's just me. I'll go be hot now that I'm always cold, versus the way I used to think a couple of years ago when I was 284 pounds, where I would have said, I want to be cold instead of hot. It's funny how that changes. All right, let's answer some of your questions. So I did get a question this week where someone asked me how long I've been in maintenance. And so I thought that was an interesting question because I am still in a calorie deficit, but I don't have to be if I don't want to. So it's tricky for me because my BMI says I still have quite a bit of weight to lose before I would be at what's considered a healthy BMI. And I've talked about this in previous videos before. So I could still lose like another 20 pounds to be at a healthy BMI. So I'm technically still considered overweight according to just the BMI scale. However, I am 5'5" and I wear a size 6. And I wear a medium small top at this point. Excuse me. I can share clothes with my athlete 13-year-old daughter. Much of my weight is muscle mass. And if you look at pictures or videos of me from recently, like you can really see the body recomposition that's happened. And then I do carry a lot of lean mass in my body. And so both my doctor and my dietitian have looked at that and said, you know, based on how much you're lifting weights, based on your activity level, based on what we're seeing with our eyes, like you could be at maintenance right now. You could stay right there, you know, just float your calories, increase them a little bit, stay at maintenance. But if you want to lose a little bit more, you can go into a calorie deficit too. So I'm in this like weird limbo phase in my weight loss journey. And I know that not everyone understands it because not everyone has that. Many of the people I talk to, they're like, well, I'm in weight loss until I reach my BMI and then I'm in maintenance. But that's not the case for me because of my body type and my job, right? Because I work in fitness. So I do have quite a bit of muscle mass. I would be okay with losing a little bit more. I'm in a calorie deficit because that is where I feel comfortable right now. But if I continue to see the scale like plateauing or fluctuating, I might just go up to maintenance calories and continue on with my body recomposition journey and see how I feel after a few months. So I'm kind of in a weird limbo place. If you want to say I've been in maintenance since I reached like 105 pounds lost, then I've been in maintenance for almost 3 months now. But well, 2 months now, I guess. I've been since for 2 months. So because I had a big plateau, I stayed kind of where I was for almost a full month or for over a month. So you could say I've been in maintenance for 2 months, but I'm still eating in a deficit most days. So I guess I'm not there yet. It's a weird place to be. My journey is not going to look like anyone else's because it's mine. Your journey won't look like mine either. Yours will also won't look like the person's next to yours. And sometimes when you reach your fitness goal or your weight loss goal, you change what that goal is. So when I first met with my provider and they said, what weight would you like to be? I literally said, I don't care about what the number on the scale says. I just want to be healthy. I want all of my markers to look good again. And I mean, in a dream world, if I could fit in a pair of size 8s, I'd be jumping from the rooftop. So I surpassed that, but I'm also not sure like how much loose skin is on my body. Like, am I looking at some that's loose skin, or is it Is it still fat? Like, I don't know. And so it's something that my doctors and I are looking at together. I need to go and get a full body scan. I just haven't found the time to do it yet. I think once I have that data, it'll be easier to determine when I'm fully set in maintenance versus still being in a calorie deficit. So long story short, I'm technically not in maintenance yet, and that's okay. I think the biggest win for me when it comes to this is that this came from someone who said, like, weight loss is the easy part. Maintenance is the hard part. And I fully agree with you. I have lost 100 pounds and then regained it 4 times in my life, because every time I got to maintenance, I would just start gaining weight again. But it was because I was, like I said, I was white knuckling it. I went head first underwater and eventually had to come up for breath, and I didn't know how to live my life because I was just restricting. And eventually I couldn't restrict anymore. And I just said, forget it. And I went back to all my old habits. Whereas this time the medication allows me to continue moving forward like I'm treading water instead of drowning, right? I'm not holding my breath underwater. I am treading water and I have a life raft. My medication is my life raft. I'm treading water because I fully changed my habits. Even the things that I go to eat in my kitchen now are different than before. The foods that I think about eating when I crave something are different than they were before. In the past, after I had lost a bunch of weight, if I was like, oh man, I have a busy night, I don't know what I'm gonna eat, I would have immediately gone and ordered a pizza or gotten a frozen pizza, or gone and picked up something curbside from a restaurant that was like a burger with fries and sauce on it. Every time I'd be like, cheat night, it's okay. A perfect example is last night. We had a really busy week. I had a crazy busy day, and I forgot that we had planned something for dinner, but I forgot to get it all ready. So I looked at my husband and I was like, I'm gonna run to the grocery store and see if they have a rotisserie chicken. And so I got a rotisserie chicken. I really wanted some sweet potatoes. They didn't have any in the freezer section, so I got sweet potato fries. And then I got edamame from the freezer section, and I got some cherry tomatoes. I came home, I cooked in the air fryer, I cooked the sweet potato fries. They were great because they were spicy. And then I put the rotisserie chicken, I chopped some up with a little bit of Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce, a tablespoon of sauce to a little over a serving of chicken. I blended up a little bit of cottage cheese, a half a serving of cottage cheese, which is a 1/4 cup. I sliced up about 6 cherry tomatoes and sliced them in half, so it was like 12. And then I put a serving of edamame beans on there, like already beaned ones. I just cooked those in the microwave. And I put that on top of the sweet potato fries, and it was so good. And I was like, man, I would eat this again. I never would have done that 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 10 years ago, 15, 20, 30 years ago. It didn't matter at any other point in my life. If I did not have something in the house to cook, that never would have been the choice I made before. So this shows me that this time, because I have this extra tool, I'm going to be able to achieve maintenance much more successfully than I ever have in the past. I have no doubt it's going to be more difficult than the weight loss phase, because during weight loss, you're constantly rewarded with these dopamine hits from non-scale victories and scale victories and people complimenting you. But eventually you come to this level point on your journey where you get to maintenance and you don't get those dopamine hits anymore. And I talked about that in another video, and you just have to find these new things that keep you setting new goals and moving forward so you can get those dopamine hits in other ways and feel successful in your fitness and nutrition life. So that's my long story with that question. I'm sorry that it's getting so dark. I got another question again. Someone asked me this before, but someone else has asked me again, what are my favorite sports bras? So the only sports bras that I will wear for a high impact class, like cardio, dance, fitness, HIIT, that sort of thing, are from SheFit. So SheFit is a website. I just became an ambassador for them, but I have been using SheFit bras since 2017. I am obsessed. 2017 or 2018. I'm obsessed with them. I literally only became an ambassador for them because I was referring so many of my clients to them. And I was like, they're not getting any discounts. I should at least find a way to get them a discount. So I applied, and you save 15% if you use my ambassador code. So if I can help someone save a few dollars that's already going to buy one, I will. So You can check them out. If you need a sports bra, you can use my code to save 15%, but they are expensive. So if you don't need one, please don't buy it, okay? But they're amazing. They look like harnesses and they feel like a harness the first time you wear them, but these are such good quality sports bras. You're supposed to replace your sports bras like every 6 months to a year. I've literally had some of the same ones since 2018 from SheFit. Like they're such good quality. And like I don't wash them with the care instructions. I literally just toss them in the washer and the dryer, which is not what they recommend. And they still have held up. They keep me locked in. I have a very large chest and I don't have an issue with them going anywhere. These bras have worked for me. Like I had the same bras for years and years and years. And they're adjustable, like the waistband's adjustable and then the top's adjustable. So until my cup size like really shrank in my weight loss, I've been able to wear the same bras, no matter what size, like how much weight I lost. So when I was 284 pounds, I was wearing the same bra that I was still wearing at 184 pounds. I just now had to start replacing them because the cup size shrank so much that there was like a lot of extra space in the cup area. When it comes to like my lower impact workouts and being in the weight room, I'm a little bit more flexible. I love Under Armour bras, and there's a brand on Amazon that I really like. It's like Girl Something. It's in my Amazon store. You can check it out. They're like $20. They're great bras. My daughter uses them for cheerleading. I use them for, like I said, like yoga and the weight room. I also, Comfrt, the sweater brand, they just launched a line of like sports bras and leggings, and I got a set to try it out. Now I got it in black and I love it. It's so soft, but here's my feedback. The leggings, while squat proof and crazy soft, do not have pockets. And the sports bras do show sweat. So if you're gonna be super sweaty, you might not want to wear it if you're in a super sweaty workout. And the last question I had is, where do I get my medication? Like I said, I get it from a compounding pharmacy. I use Mochi Health. I always link it below. You do have to meet with a provider. You can't just get a prescription without an appointment. So if you're interested, go to Mochi Health, check it out. If you are shopping for a compound medication provider, like a telehealth company, check out GLP Winner. She like mystery shops all of these healthcare providers, like the telehealth providers, and she can give you the best feedback on what the best option is for you. Oh, and I did have one more question. Someone asked me when to start exercising on your journey. And my best advice for that is it's really going to depend on you. So everyone's journey is different. Some of us are more fit than others. Just listen to your body and your healthcare provider. And I think I'm going to address this in a longer video coming up very soon because it's such a detailed answer and I don't think I can do it in a short video. But that's it for now. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you found this helpful, please like and subscribe. Comment something down below. Let me know how your week has been going. And I will talk to you next time. Bye-bye.